Hey guys, it's me again, Kevin Richardson, here to give you some ways that you can grow yourself, grow your business, and just improve your life in general. Now, today I'm going to give you some tips on how to create a product that will sell. So let's get right into it. Number one, talk to your customers first. I know that this might sound, unattractive or not fun because you have this awesome idea. You have this awesome idea that you want to, share to the world, and you say, Kevin, it's such an awesome idea. There's no way that anyone would not buy it. This is like shooting fish in a barrel. This is just 100% success. I don't need to talk to customers because I know they're already going to love it. It's easy to fall into that trap, and that's why many businesses fail right off the bat. You need to make sure that your product is something that people will buy. And the only way to do that is just going out, doing the legwork, getting involved with your community, talking with people online, getting feedback online, and figuring out three key things. The first of which is, what activities does your ideal customer engage in? The second thing is, what are some of those pains associated with the things that they do? What are some of the problems that they experience with their jobs that they do? And then third, what goals are they trying to achieve by doing those things? What are they trying to get out of those jobs? What are they trying to get out of their activities that they're doing? Figure out those three things first before you ever create a product, spend any money on a prototype, and so on. But once you figure that out, that does lead us into the second tip, which is create your MVP. No, I'm not talking about the most valuable player in sports, whatever sport you watch. I'm talking about the minimum viable product. Now, the MVP that I'm talking about is the version of your ideal product that, you take off all of the bells and whistles, and it's something that is purely functional, and its sole purpose is to communicate to your ideal customer, to your target market, what you're trying to make for them. It has the same function as your ideal product, but it's super easy to make, it's super easy to communicate the idea. And I want to clarify that the MVP doesn't have to be a prototype of your actual product. Again, it is simply a way to communicate the things about your product that your customer would like, that they would like to know about, they would like to see. So this can be anything from a landing page, which is just a website that explains what your product or service will do. It can be a prototype, but it can be all these other things as well. And there's plenty of resources on the internet that you can refer to learn more about this. So that brings us to the third thing. After you've created your MVP, the third thing is to validate your MVP. You need to validate that minimum viable product. What you need to do is get feedback. So again, you're essentially repeating step one, but now you have a product that you can actually show people. And they'll say, oh, I love it, I love this, and this about it, or oh, this is terrible, why did you bring this to me, I hate this, and this about it, and you listen. And you write all of these down, and you remember what these people say, what their reactions were, whether it was emotional or whether it was just kind of indifferent, like they didn't care about something. If they didn't seem to care about something, remove it and try again. If they hated something, change it and see what their response is next time. If they loved it, keep it. Keep doing this with your minimum viable product and getting that raw feedback from your potential customers until you have something that everyone loves. And I want to take a second to point out that there is an excellent resource that can help you do these first three steps, and it is called the Value Proposition Canvas. I'm going to put a link below that you all can follow to get a PDF version of this, and it's simply a visual representation of how to take your customer and their goals, their problems, and their activities and map them over to your minimum viable product. And when you have matching over from your product to your customer and their wants, their needs, and so on, you have a product customer match. And that's the goal that we're trying to achieve here. So now that you have this match between your minimum viable product and your customer, let's move on to step 4, which is you need to lay out your business model. Anyone will know or be able to tell you that your business is a lot more than just the product and the customer, right? I mean, if that were the case, then all of these businesses would be the same and there would be no competition. But you have, say, social media, for example. You have Twitter, you have Snapchat, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have all these platforms, and they essentially have the same customer, which is someone who wants to express themselves or put something out there on the internet or interact with their family, their friends, their network, and so on. And of course, the product is the platform itself, right? But there's all these other intricacies, all of these other things that make their business different, that makes one more successful than the other. They're not all following the same business model. And that's why you need to lay out your own business model and figure out exactly what it is that's going to set your business apart and if it's going to make sense, right? I mean, if you can make so say you dream up a product and you know that people will like it, but you find out there's no way that you can actually generate revenue from it, or it's going to be really, really expensive to get your product to the customers, for example, then it's not going to make sense from a business perspective. And again, another really great tool to visualize this, analogous to the value proposition canvas, is going to be the business model canvas. These are both materials that are created by a company called Strategyzer. And again, the business model canvas, just like the value proposition canvas, I'm going to link to it below so that you too can use this great resource when laying out your business model. So now we've gone through all of these steps. You have your business model set out. You have this minimum viable product that you've whittled down to something that everyone likes, that they're willing to pay their hard-earned cash for. And bringing us to the final point that I want to make is to what I like to call fail flawlessly. So what do I mean by fail flawlessly? I mean, even if you have all of these ducks lined up in a row and something unexpected happens, you didn't get as many sales as you projected you would, you're not making as much money as you thought you would, you had this explosive growth in the beginning, but now it's starting to slow down, you experience some sort of failure, some sort of shortcoming in some way. Just remember that that's okay, and this ultimately is a learning process. Whenever you when you start to look at failures as a learning opportunity, you're going to grow so much more than someone who says, oh, I failed, that was only one shot at it, I need to go back to doing whatever I was doing before. So my final advice to you is to keep going even if you fail, and learn from your mistakes and create something that's going to change the lives of others for the better. Thanks, guys. See you later.